Hello everyone, my name is Sammy, probably better known as the Architect, and today we're going to go over an episode of Bird's Eye View. This series allows us to take a step back and look at all the different variables that are necessary in the business world. Today's topic is what is a CRM and what is its purpose. Let's start by deconstructing the acronym CRM, which breaks down to Customer Relationship Management. If I want to capture the gist of the goal, we want to capture, monitor, and adapt the interactions your company has with the customers. By having a healthy investment to review the CRM elements periodically, it is one of the best ways to ensure you're being proactive towards your customer base. In this video, we will go over the high-level engagements a company have with its customers, starting with a contract. The base elements to cover are your standard agreements towards your customers. This can take the form of an end-user level agreement, otherwise known as EULA, or terms and conditions. In these standard documents, you're able to set the baseline of the interactions with a customer. For example, you may want to standardize the intellectual property clause of the software you're implementing, or identify in advance that you're able to leverage the use of third parties to deliver what was promised. Once you have your base contracts narrowed out, we must now orient our attention to the marketing strategy. The main components I wish to cover is branding and metrics. The most successful marketing agencies that I have interacted with presence their brand in evidence, since consumers are usually attached to a brand rather than a product or a service that was provided. One of the ways to attract and convince customers to deal with you is to provide them with free value that displays your expertise and passion. This emotion you would like a customer to feel should be clear. For example, Fila, the shoemaker, is capitalizing on the nostalgic factor of their brand to expand. Each initiative taken to put your brand in front of your target audience must be tracked efficiently. The metrics may allow you to confirm that the outbound communication is attracting the exact and wanted persona. The persona is a non-existent entity for which you are orienting your communication towards. For example, a North American middle-aged lady that wishes to explore the trendy restaurants around her. You will not recommend the same content or communicate it the same way as a teen boy from Iceland. In retrospect, you are able to identify how your persona reacts to your initiatives and where they fare towards the pipeline. You may be able to ask yourself, did they view your content? If it was on social media, did they share, like, or comment? Or did they purchase your offering? This can be identified as a lead source or marketing campaign. The marketing campaign is important to track the costs associated to one or many promotional efforts and the revenue that they were able to acquire. The campaign is not limited to a single action that you may take. It may be possible that you are orienting your marketing campaign for awareness instead of revenue, if you're launching a new brand or product. Hence, it would be important to track the amount of clicks, views, and engagement of your audience. In each component of the CRM process, it is important to capture the feedback of your users, especially in marketing, since it's the only way to really confirm your original hypothesis. The marketing approach is fairly similar to the scientific methodology. This will allow us to confirm or reject the identified trends or needs of our persona. Once the feedback is collected, we must take the time to identify the correlations and, if we need to, act upon them. This is definitely an evolutionary process, since your environment or audience is always changing. In the end, the main goal of all of your marketing efforts is to capture potential leads. The lead is a persona that might have an intent of working with you. If you're able to capture as much information as possible before they hit that point, you should know enough to tailor the rest of the engagement depending on the audience. The next steps would be to nurture that lead into a prospect, where you're going to confirm what their actual needs are and if they are a natural fit. Every communication or efforts needs to be contained in what we call an opportunity. For example, the opportunity will capture what their potential budget is, what are the communications that have been exchanged between yourself and the prospect, and the meetings to close the business, etc. The final transition from the prospect stage would be that they now have become a customer. This is usually indicating by closing a deal with a formal quote or order. This sequencing is what we call the lead to customer flow. In most businesses, this flow may take multiple months. This is when it is important to capture and follow up on the progression. This is usually done by nurturing and updating the forecasts. Once again, this is usually done leveraging the opportunities, but specifically the value of that opportunity, which can be weighted or not, meaning we are multiplying the total amount of the opportunity with the probability of closure. The probability is usually sourced from the steps necessary to close a deal. For example, the first status would be the prospect is contacted at 10%, the first demo was provided at 25%, the service breakdown has been sent for 40%, the first contract has been sent at 60%, the contract redlinings, which is the final step of the signature, at 95%, and the customer has finally been won at 100%. It may also be possible that at any point that prospect has been lost with a value of 0%. If you have a complex pre-sales process, then it is important to narrow down certain elements such as your sales team, keeping track of every activity such as phone calls, emails, events, or even meetings, or even treating with the opportunity as a full-blown project. The pre-sales process definitely is an important topic that I will cover later on, hence I will go through the rest of the CRM elements. After all of this effort to gain new customers, it would be unreasonable to waste this effort if you don't sustain their interest. There are multiple aspects to this section, but I will go over the main pieces. Since we just discussed the sales piece, it would be logical to start with the upselling techniques. The major point I want to address for this section is that you do not want to strain your customer. The best way to do so is to only suggest what you truly think will help them. If what you want to upsell will help them with an issue of time, knowledge, or whatnot, then it is a good idea to propose it. The most common way to help your customers would be to provide an efficient support offering. This is an easy way to build trust and a bond with your interlocutor. Since I was an optimization manager, I truly know the importance of this type of interaction. The most important element would be to be proactive with your customer base. If your company's support group is driven by support tickets, the team responsible can easily fall in a passive and receptive engagement mode, which we must not. The final element we're going to cover in this video is invoicing, dunning, and collection. In a world where you have multiple subscription lengths or payment terms, it is necessary to track the critical information for your team to work efficiently. The multiple methods to be used will depend on the country which you or your customers are located. Streamlining the process to follow and the different variables will be a godsend when you need to go through the collection process. This pretty much concludes today's episode of Bird's Eye View. If you found value in today's video, don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel or the video. Every week I will post new content that will allow us to explore and learn new topics. If you would like to support the channel, please don't hesitate to take a look at the Patreon page of Consult the Architect. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. See you soon.